Okay. So, good evening. Welcome to the IELTS speaking test. Today I'll be your IELTS examiner. So are you ready?
Yes.
So since we don't have questions for part one, this is part two. Describe an important decision that you made on your own. So you have 1 minute to take down some notes, and then we'll begin.
For me, recently, I just realized that I have made one of the best decisions in my life, by changing my sleeping habits. Actually, a few years ago, I usually had to pull an all-nighter, burning the midnight oil to study hard, to get and to pass the high school entrance exam. However, I soon realized that it had been taking a toll on my mental health as well as my physical health. My menstruations got messed up quite a lot, and my sleeping habits also got worse, affecting the qualities of my sleep. Therefore, I always felt so drowsy and weary at morning and afternoon classes. So last year, when I got into high school, I decided to change, striking a balance between my studying and getting enough sleep, living more healthily. I decided to wake up early in the morning to study instead of staying up all night just to get assignments done. At first, it took a lot of discipline to set up a new schedules, especially a habit that has been a kind of biological clock for my body. Therefore, I struggled a lot. My roommates used to try to wake me up like early in the mornings because I had alarms on my phones, but I kept sleeping, not noticing their efforts, and their efforts were all in vain. However, now, like after 2 years, I can actually wake up after a few phone alarms or even waking myself up at the right time to get my assignments completed early in the morning before I got to school. Uh, I I also noticed that my health has improved greatly ever since I changed this habit. Um, and I'm actually glad that I made such a decisions, changing myself for the better, not only for the sake of my health, but also my the qualities of my work. That's all.
This is the end of part two. Let's move on to part three. So the first question, what might happen if children live too dependent on the parents?
For me personally, I think that if children happen or tend to live too dependently on their parents, I think there might be some consequences. First of all, is the lack of independence. Since they have always been relying on their parents a lot, doing things for them. They eventually lose the ability to be independent and self-reliant. Therefore, during growing up, they might struggle to make decisions, solving the problems on their own, or not being able to take responsibility for their actions. Therefore, it might impact greatly their ability to navigate challenges as well as to step out of their comfort zone into the society where things are much more difficult. They may find it hard to work on their own, etc. Uh, and they might also not have the soft skills. Their soft skill may not be as strong as others who have been living dependently. So I think there are some serious consequences of living too dependently on their parents.
So, what are the effects of parenting on the children's development?
For me, parenting has always had a major impact on their children's developments, shaping their behavior, mindsets, and way of being, etc. Um, and the effects can be both negative and positive, depending on the way that the parents teach their children the way things are. First of all, it's the emotional development. Different parenting styles can affect children's emotional development. Usually, warm and supportive parents, authoritarian parents may secure children's emotional stabilities, fostering their self-esteem as well as their attachment to the family. However, the type of authoritative parentings can make children feel like they are in an so-called abusive family, affecting the relationships between parents and children's, lowering their self-esteem and leads to emotional insecurities.
What kind of people tend to live by themselves?
I think there are a lot of type of people that would choose to live by themselves for various reasons. Maybe it's because of their difficulties or it's their desires. However, I can see that most young adults tend to live dependently by the time they move out or have already started their career. They would choose to live independently because this stage of their lives often involves higher like pursuing their dreams, seeking promotions, opportunities, self-discoveries, and wanting for themselves greater freedom and the ability to establish their own routines and lifestyles. And I also find that people who are introverts also would tend to live independently because they find solace in living alone. They value living their own life, personal space. Therefore, they would choose to live alone independently from others.
How can parents and teachers help young people to live independently?
Um, Personally, I think that parents and teachers can teach students how to live uh, independently, both during school and at homes. First of all, they can foster the ability or the mindset to take responsibilities for children. um, they need to assign tasks such as organizing their belongings or finishing the chores for their children, encourage them to take ownerships or leaderships of their own responsibilities and make commitment to such tasks. Moreover, they can also provide opportunities and space for children to be independent. They can allow their children to learn or play on their own, uh, however, still guiding um, reasonable activities and structure and instruct them to make the right decisions, guiding them through difficulties and helping them to be more dependent, self-reliant over time.
Okay, so the last question. What skill do you think that young people need to live independently?
Personally, I would say that to live independently, young people actually need a lot of skills, a wide set of skills. First of all, is the independent financial management, because only having their own money, uh, they can actually save, tracking their expenses and buying things that they buying afford things that they want with their own money. That's the most important factor to live independently. Uh, Additionally, I also think that they need to get their self-care and health management skills improved. Those skills are really needed because everyone needs to take responsibilities for their own health and well-being. Therefore, this involves self-care routines, understanding their own hygienes, stress, and seeking supports when they feel stressed or etc. Generally, they just need to understand themselves, understand their health better to live independently, but effectively and healthily. Okay, we shall start now. Here is your part two cue card. Describe an important decision you made on your own. You should say what the decision was, where you were, and how you made the decision, and explain why it was difficult to make.
At a very young age, and my parents often let me made most of the decisions that can affect my life. And one of the most significant that hold great importance to my life was about my high school entrance exam. So the situation was a bit specific. At that time, when I was in grade 9, the high school that I aimed for had, like a policy transformation. So to be particular, it was stated that the students with the IELTS certificate of band 6.5 or above would not have to take the IELTS or the English test, sorry, which also the test of the highest value. And to be honest, I was terrified because unlike most of the candidates who pursued the study of IELTS, I wasn't updated and I was informed about the policy pretty late. And I was at the crossroads, unsure about my future. And after weighing up all the pros and cons, as well as seeking advice from my parents and also my mentors, I decided to take a bold decision of not taking the IELTS test, which meant that I have to take the entrance exam in the conventional way, without any priority. And I knew that any mistake, even the smallest one, would have to pay the price. So I burned the midnight oil. I studied super hard and I just try as hard as I can to get into the school. And unfortunately, I passed the test with flying colors. That period of time was unforgettable for me because it has been, the most challenging time for me so far. It taught me how to find again anxiety and negative feelings as well as how to cope with pressure. Looking back, I am immensely grateful for the decision I've made. It has, empowered me with a broader perspective, opened the door for more exciting opportunities. It fostered my self-reliance and also shaped me into a more confident individual.
Okay, so now we start with part three. The first question is, what might happen if children live too dependently on their parents?
Personally, if children fail to develop a sense of independence, it can have several potential consequences. So first of all, it will impair their decision-making skills. When children are constantly guided and also directed by their parents, they might struggle to develop essential decision-making skills as a result when they are on their own or they like enter adulthood, they cannot make choices for them, which can hinder their ability and navigate life's challenges independently. And also, it also create more difficulties for them to adapt to new situations. So over independence on parents can make it really challenging for children to adapt to new environments and also situations. They may struggle with transitions such as starting a new school, going to college, or just entering a new social settings as they are accustomed to relying on the parents for support and guidance.
Your second question is, what are the effects of parenting on their children's development?
It is obvious that parenting have an immense impact on the children. Personally, for me, I think that different styles of parent will have different effects on their children, both negative and positive. So let's take authoritative parenting as an example. Parents of this style, they are often warm, nurturing, encouraging, and uh, also willing to listen to the children consideration. They have control over the children, but not in an overbearing way. So as a result, children are um, usually happy. They have like a high sense of self-esteem, often respectful and successful. But on the contrary, there a kind of parenting is called uninvolved parenting. So parents of this style, they can be straight up neglectful, indifferent, and cold, and they even reject when their kids seek for help or for advice. And children of this style don't often do well at school. They academically underperform and don't have the fulfilling friendships or like high levels, or they also can be prone to um mental diseases such as depression, anxiety, um, by the time they are teenagers.
Here is your third question. What kind of people tend to live by themselves?
Personally, for me, I think there isn't like a specific type of person who tends to live by themselves, as people choose to live alone for various reasons. However, there are some common characteristics or circumstances that may make individuals more likely to live by themselves. First of all, is young adults. Many young adults opt to live alone as they want to explore independence, establish their own careers, or pursue higher education. So, making alone during this phase of life will allow them to have the autonomy and the freedom and the decision making. And also, I think that individuals who prefer solitude, people there are people that just simply enjoy the solitude and find it essential for their well-being. They value the peace, quiet, and freedom that living alone provides, allowing them to recharge and engage in activities and enjoy life without external distractions. Yeah.
Okay, so this is your fourth question. How can
So parents and teachers, obviously, they play crucial roles in shaping young people or helping them develop the skills and mindset needed to live independently. So at school, teacher can teach students about the life skill education. Like they can actively teach practical skill um, that young people will need to live independently. Um, this may include skills such as cooking, cleaning, laundry, or budgeting, and also time management. Mm, it is also essential that parents and teachers teach young people about problem solving and decision making skill. They can encourage young people to think critically and make decisions on their own. They can guide the youngsters through the process of evaluating options, weighing up pros and cons, and considering the consequences. So offering support and asking open-ended questions can also help young people develop their problem solving and also decision-making skills.
Here is your final question. What skill do you think young people need to learn to live independently?
So to live independently, young people need to develop a wide range of skills that enable them to take care of themselves. Here are some essential skills for independent living, in my opinion. So first of all, and the most important one, I think is self-care and personal hygiene. Like young people should learn how to take care of their physical health and also mental health, including personal hygiene routines, proper nutrition, and regular exercises. They should understand the importance of adequate sleep, managing stress, and also maintaining an overall well-being, especially in a society where everything is getting more and more intense. So, second of all is the time management and also organization. So developing effective time management and organizational skills have young people stay on top of their responsibilities and also boost their self-discipline. They should learn how to, prioritize tasks, manage deadlines, and maintain schedules. Um, by doing this, they can, strike a balance between their working life and the social life, which makes it easier for them to adapt to the environment.